Good day, mate. Today I'm going to discuss a game I just played against kajsiell, and this game was an interesting game because I suppose I managed to prioritize what is important, which is developing my pieces, and in rewards I obtained a lot of advantages. So it's an interesting opening. Bird opening f4 followed by e6 by the opponent, and then c4, trying to gain the control of the center. Bishop goes to c5, and here I can see that the intention is to take my dark square knight, which is knight at g, and because at bird's opening that knight will be defending the king from if it wants to castle to the king side. So I sort of ignore this. Knight goes to c3, bishop takes g1, which is a very early, um, I suppose it's an early exchange or that sort of thing, trying to mess up everything and trying to avoid all the bird variation, I suppose. And it's interesting because from here on the game is dynamic. So I took g1 using my rook, and queen h4 check, g3, queen takes h2, and then rook goes to g1, sorry, g2. And it's interesting here because queen here goes to h1, and it's sort of want to drill the defense of my king, which is still pretty strong here and it's not that easily penetrable. And of course I sort of salute kajsiell for trying. However, I don't think it's planned correctly, and it results in disaster at the end. So I just continue on with queen goes to c2. It is not an accurate move, but at the end of the day I want to bring my king to castle queenside, so it's safer and black queen can be threatened or can be locked there. That's the idea of this. And knight goes to f6. I can smell that knight goes to f6 and then knight will go to g4 or even and then from there it can sort of make some freedom or freedom chasing movement for the queen. And I sort of ignore this. I just want to go ahead with the plan, which is trying to castle my king queenside, and I'll do this by fianchettoing my dark square bishop by moving b3, and then from then on bishop goes to b2, and then long castle. So here knight goes to g4, which is I suppose a freedom sort of movement for the queen. I move my bishop to b2, continuing on. Now bishop here goes to h2. I don't think it's an accurate move at all. I mean, if it takes f1 at all, it's gonna be pinned basically because the queen is there and the knight surely will be lost. It's just gonna be an exchange of bishop and knight, and it's not that profitable, I suppose. And of course if the knight takes the bishop, of course the rook can move very easily, so it's not that big of a threat. But here I just sort of try to play long. I mean, I move my rook to f2, and from here of course knight can go to g4, and then I have to move again, but it doesn't move it. Like, it goes b6 here. I can understand the plan. I mean, it's going to fianchetto the bishop and then make a freedom movement for the queen, but I suppose it's just a bit late, so I do the long side castling. Knight takes f1, rook at d takes f1, and then queen goes to h3. And from here I suppose it's just It's not that I'm not gonna be afraid if it takes g3 at all. I mean, I don't mind. Um, but I just move my knight to e4, not to defend. Actually, the plan is not to defend um, the pawn at g3, but it's actually to attack later on, to move forward to probably a square like g5, and then from there on, the idea of opening the f file, or probably if the king's castles, if the black king castles kingside, probably to attack h7 at all if it's possible, or something like that nasty. So here, you know b7, bishop goes to b7. I can actually simply take, bishop at b, take g7, but then I didn't do it. Instead, I just let it be like that. Just move f5 here. It says it's a blunder, but it's quite strong, because the idea is actually to take e, and then from then on, you can just move forward. Remember that my rook at f is batterying up, so it's pretty strong, doubling up, and it's not easy to sort of defend using the battery rook. And from here, castling king side, which is of course a mistake, and I simply take e6. From here, d takes e6, and I can sort of just sacrifice my pieces. Maybe bishop goes to take g7 there, but I didn't do it. Instead, I move my knight to g5 there. Queen goes to h5, which is, of course, makes sense, defending the piece, and also still protecting the pawn at h7 if queen moves anywhere else. But h file is gonna be, disaster for black. So queen has to move to h5 here. It's a forced move. Any other move, it will be very disadvantageous for black. Now, of course, knight takes e6, and there is no other way. I mean, it's a very good move. It's a result of developing the knight, moving forward, and from here, black cannot take using the pawn at f7. If it takes, then this will happen. Checkmate. So black didn't want to do this. Instead, if, for example, it moves its rook like here, of course, I can simply take this, and then queen is under fire, or even as simple as doing this and the rook's fork. So any variation can be done because of this. And black here goes f6, so it's a huge blunder, losing a lot of material. And then, of course, I'm taking this, and it shouldn't be like king goes to f6, f8, because it's a lot of variation that we can happen. And I can simply take using the bishop there, sacrificing a piece, and then king is already no more. King's already under fire, no more defense there. But I simply move this g4 pawn for a deflection. So, and it's a gambit, of course. The queen takes it, and I did a blunder here. But simply, I just want to destroy black's defense. So bishop goes there to e4 is a mistake as well. I mean, I simply move there, and then here, of course, bishop finally took it, and g takes f6. Of course, not the best checkmate sequence, but it's already, forced checkmate. And of course, e7. I lost the sequence here, but if you have a look at the position, it's like as a result of good development of bringing your piece forward, such as the knight before, it's already, you can already see that this is a disaster for black. I mean, even actually, you know, I make a mistake. Like move my king there. Checkmate is unavoidable. I mean, but it didn't actually make use of this. Like, you know, simply it can force me a checkmate. I can move here, and then it can check me there. I have to move here, and then, you know, it can actually checkmate me if it wants to, but it didn't find it, so it's pretty stupid and silly. But it didn't sort of, you know, read the checkmate sequence. Instead, queen goes d4, so it's pretty safe now. It's just taking material, which is pretty stupid. Check, and that sort of move is, you know, like, it's the ending already. So yeah, basically black resigned here. So at the end of the day, the message of the game is actually a good development worth a lot of points, I suppose. Like, you know, imagine if I didn't even think of moving my knight forward like this. It won't be able to sort of, you know, make the position where it is, and it's a really good incentive for you who is trying to be serious to play chess, to develop your pieces and make it useful to attack the opponent. Thank you so much for watching this video, and see you next time. Bye.